This is my third attempt to make this video because the in-game sound is too loud in the other attempts. And I'm doing it through Steam link, and so I'm not exactly sure how the sound works. But this is Titan Drive Component Farming, which is something that's quite irritating and can take a really long time. I'm going to try to explain how I think it works. So I'm here at the dead Titan around in our solar system around Earth. I'll show you that here in a second. So here is our solar system. There's the Sun, there's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and the Moon. And there's the dead Titan, which is an alien, an ammonia-based alien. And he drops a Titan drive component, which you need to buy the pre-engineered SCO frameshift drives, which are the farthest jumping drives in the game as of yet. And I've been out here for 2 hours and didn't find one. And then I think I found a method that works really well. So we're going to try it again. So what I do is I just tool around here, wide open at about 10 kilometers from the center, watching the panel here. And I think the reason this works is because my sensors are grade A engineered, and they got about 11 kilometers. So they, I scan the center while at the same time, so I've got 11 kilometers from the center to my ship, and then 11 kilometers from my ship out to the right, which gives me the, so I'm not doubling up the center. Before, when I was out here for 2 hours, I was just zipping around everywhere looking, and I don't, it didn't work. And then once I started doing this, I find them very consistent. As a matter of fact, I think I've got 3 or 4 now, 3, as I've tried this video 3 times so far. The last time I tried it, I found it in the first 5 minutes. It was probably the quickest I've ever found one. So I just tool around at about, between 10 and 12 kilometers from the center, watching the context panel. This was coded by, almost hit that boulder. This is coded by humans, so I think to myself, if I coded this, how would I, code spawning a rare part? And I would do that in such a way that it would benefit those that had worked hard in the game to farm all the materials and the best components, and then engineer those components. And this what I'm doing now, it is that. I don't think, I think the best sensors in the game, they're, maybe 7 kilometers. And if you try to go around this thing at 7 kilometers, you'll hit everything. You're hitting all those bone pieces in there. So the reason I can do this is because my sensors are engineered. And I mean, I've probably gotten, I don't know, 15 to 20 of these so far. And I've got 40 ships, so I need, 20 more. Ooh, there's an NPC. Looks like he's in a Corvette. Or a Python. I hope I don't hit. What is that? That is a Corvette. That's the most powerful combat ship in the game. I've got one, it's very nice. If he spots me and scans me, he will give me 15 seconds to drop my 3 valuable Titan drive components, or he will start shooting at me, which I would not survive if I didn't get out of here in a hurry, which I would try to do. If he scans me, I'll get a message that says, you're being scanned. And 15 seconds is a long time. I can boost away. It's not it. This ship is way faster than the Corvette. My Corvette with fully engineered dirty drives goes maybe 300 meters a second, and this would go about 700 meters a second. So I could escape, but I'd have to do it immediately. Oh man, I wish I had the sound figured out that last video because it was so fast. This could take forever. I would before that last one I got. I thought you might have to make a pass to the center because I couldn't remember a time where I hadn't made a pass to the center, and I without getting one. But that last one, I did make a pass through the center, and I got it. So, but what I usually do is I'll make one pass all the way around, and then I'll make a pass through the center, and then go back to doing go back to doing this. This is a Titan. There was a huge battle. The Thargoids was the name of the alien species. We named them Thargoids. They invaded the bubble, which is in the game is the human-occupied part of the galaxy, which is tiny, and we don't know why they came in, but they invaded, and there was a huge war, and that war went on for about a year in game, and then it just ended. And this Titan is what's left over from Titan is a Thargoid mothership, and I'm sure they'll be back. It was quite an exciting time, I won't lie. It was fascinating. And it seems like the Frontiers is the one that writes this game. Seems like they finally got their act together, and they're starting to add a bunch of good content, because Star Citizen is no joke. Star Citizen is coming, and it is coming fast. And it is a totally different animal. I mean, it's in this exact same space, the 1-to-1 scale galaxy space simulator, but it's like a Bugatti compared to a Mustang. This is a Mustang, and Star Citizen is a Bugatti. If they can, the way it looks and the way it plays, and the ability to have an open world, the way they've done server meshing is almost like magic. If they can get the game mechanics and the economy right, I don't see how Elite will survive. This game will survive because it is a completely different level. But it's been in beta for 12 years now. And I think this game is on its 20th or 21st year of since it was conceived. Well, it was conceived back in the 80s. It was a Commodore game. But this incarnation of it is 20 years old, or 21 years old. AX pilot, and AX means that's a anti-Xeno, and Xeno is I don't know why they call it Xeno, but that was the group of humans that fought against the Thargoids. So an AX pilot is a anti-Xeno NPC, a non-player character, which is an in-game computer AI control pilot. And which they can be pirates, which I'm not so sure an AX pilot would come for my stuff, but I don't know. I don't want to find out. The Titan Drive component always shows up at the bottom of the list. I've been around it more than once now. Starting to get that feeling like I need to go through the center, but I didn't do that last time, so I don't think it matters. And it's hard to post a video like this if you don't have proof that it works. And even if this took a half hour, it would still be proof. Because some people come out here and they'll spend hours and they won't see a single one. And I've gotten 3 within probably an hour and a half. So that's once every half hour. I suppose I could go back and try to figure out how to, but my voice is mixed in with the sound. That would be a nightmare. I don't even know how I do that. They're not on separate channels. I mean, it's gotta be a nightmare to try. So what we need here is we need a Titan drive component to just pop up. So Thomas Erickson just left. A high wake means they jumped to hyperspace, meaning they left the solar system. A low wake means they went to supercruise, which means they're just tooling around inside the solar system at faster than light. It's so funny. In supercruise, I think I've gone, you'll routinely get 500, 600, 1,000 times the speed of light, and it still takes forever to get around. You can't, it's not something you can do in real life. But it is fascinating to see, the distances from the moon to the Earth are the same distance as in real life. So you can make the trip in the ship, and you can see what it. Oh wow, there's 2 Corvette. That's 3 Anacondas and looks like I don't know what that other little ship was. So those were Anacondas, which are big all-purpose ships that can also be fighting ships. Got a little close to the center there. See the green bar? Those are police. So they won't fight me. And that Type 7 transporter, that's a cargo ship. They wouldn't fight me either. So there isn't anybody here with me within my sensor range that would come after me. And I guarantee you my sensor range is better than any NPC sensor range. So I'm good. A Python? That would come after me. It's a yellow, so that's almost certainly a pirate. I have a feeling it's going to be a long video. Those are the worst. Because I'm lazy and I never edit videos. It's too much effort. Titan partial tissue. Ooh, you see that Titan? I mean, when you see it pop up, Titan drive component, you get excited. So when you see Titan pop up at all at the bottom of the list, you get excited. That's rare, the partial Titan, but it doesn't serve any purpose in the game yet. I could pick it up and store it in my fleet carrier, but I've already got a bunch. So. I don't think I've ever gotten one near the center either. So, but I really wasn't paying attention for the first 10 of them. This may seem boring, but it's actually not. Make sure I've got my I've got my system all the way up so my shield is maximum. If I run into something, I don't want to blow up because then I lose everything I've got so far. And you could hit something and blow up if you hit it hard enough. And I'm moving. I'm going like, I don't know, what am I? I'm going 400 meters a second. The more time you spend in here, the more people spawn in, and then they start fighting and everything. You know, they'll shoot rockets at each other, and they'll drop heat sinks, and all that shows up on the contact list, and it ends up getting longer than the page, and then you have to start scrolling down. It becomes a huge pain in the butt. So I'll usually log out and log back in if that happens to clean up the screen. But you know, you worry that there is a time mechanic to it, and that when you do that, you reset that timer, and so who knows. Change our trajectory a little bit here. See, I'm already at the bottom. A bunch of ships in here, and they're gonna start fighting. See that flower thing right there? Oh, that's on my dashboard. Never mind. The Thargoid looks kind of looks like a flower. I remember when they first showed up in game. I was way out of the bubble. I was, I don't know, 1,000 light years out of the bubble farming arsenic for the frameshift drive engineering, and this weird thing they call barnacles that no one knew where they came from, but they had these little buds on them on a planet surface. So you land your ship on the planet, and you drive around in an SRV, and you shoot them down, and they have lots of the real rare elements you needed for engineering, but they're way outside of the bubble. You know, when your ship can only jump 30, 40 light years, 1,000 light years can take you like, you know, a day. Take, you know, 10, 15 hours of a real life time to just jump out there, jump after jump after jump. So I'm way out there, and if you run out of fuel, you're done. Everything's lost. So it's a risky thing to do. So I'm out there, and I get out there, and I'm cruising around, you know, picking up these things, and I hear this weird sound. I have a video of it. It's just fascinating, the video of it, and I'm like, whoa. It was like 2 a.m. Here, you know, in real life, and I'm like, well, what is that weird sound? It was an eerie sound. I'm like, that was weird. and then this boom, and I could tell it was above me. So I looked up because you can, if when you're here, if you can freeform, you can look around. I looked up and something was coming out of the sky down towards me, and it was a huge flower, and no one had seen Thargoids at that time. So I'm like, what is this? I mean, talk about immersion. I was scared sitting in my living room because of a stupid video game. And it came down and it zapped the center of the barnacle, and that's where I learned that's what made the barnacles with these whatever that thing was, and it made a crazy sound noise, and it canceled gravity, and it picked up my SRV. I thought it was going to pick me up and pull me up to the ship. It lifted me up about 20 or 30 feet off the planet's surface. I was freaking out. This was about 10 years ago. And, of course, I got online and went to all the forums, and everyone had there's a ton of people that had a similar experience because they just introduced the Thargoids into the game, which I think that had been rumored, but I didn't know that. Everyone was going crazy, and then everything unfolded, and then the Thargoid War just ended. About 4 months ago, at the end of the year, end of 2024. So this is a very immersive game. It doesn't really have any story. It doesn't have any direction. You just start, and you can haul cargo. You can go out and just do discovery. To earn money to buy new ships, bigger, better, faster ships. And you collect things, and we found these things called guardian sites, which were now extinct, some type of a being that built things and had fought the Thargoids, because we found a bunch of blueprints for anti-Thargoid weapons that we actually used to make our own weapons, and it's just, it's an incredibly immersive game. You're cruising around doing, when you get bored of cargo hauling, or you can just haul information. Lots of times they don't want to, in the in-game, politicians don't want to send messages over, they don't want to get it, so they send encrypted messages by hauler, and you can haul those messages around and make money, or you can do combat when combat's hard. I just got tired of. I think I was doing planetary scans, and I went to mining, which was awesome, and it paid great until they nerfed that. Then I went to exploration, which I never wanted to do because it always seemed boring, and it kind of was. But that's when I stumbled on a planet that had a weird artificial structure, is what it was called. So when you get a new solar system, any planet that has an Earth-like atmosphere or a metal-based, you do a discovery scan when you get in a new system, and that'll give you some basic information about how many planets there are, whether they have rings around them that you can mine, and what the basic components of the planets are. And then if you find an interesting planet, like I found a metal world, and those always can have weird and interesting zones. You pull up close to it and you shoot a probe at it, and the probe, you've got to hit it. It'll tell you based on the planet size how many probes you have to hit it with to cover the whole planet. And once you get 100% of the planet covered, it'll come back and tell you if there's anything interesting on the planet. And it said artificial structure. I'm like, what the hell is an artificial? So I flew down, and it was these old tomes and structures, and what's that thing called? A monolith. And monoliths everywhere. And if you got close to one, it would start to buzz, and your SRE would start to buzz, and something would come up out of the ground, and it would glow faintly, and you could shoot it with your gun, and it would charge it up, and it would do something, and a timer would start. It was just fascinating. It was a guardian outpost that, if you did the puzzle right, you unlocked a piece of guardian weaponry, a blueprint for guardian, or a guardian weapon, or a guardian module, or a guardian fighter, ship launched fighter. This is a real small fighter ship that you can have a fighter bay in your big ship that you can You can have a crew member, a friend, or an artificial or an NPC that you hire that can fly that and fight with you. It's a really good game. I mean, it's probably one of, if not the best game I've ever played. And it is looking like this is going to be. This is already long, and the list is getting longer and longer. I haven't had to scroll yet, but and they're fighting over there. I can see the lasers in the sky. Great. I'll get near them here in about a minute. And that list could just explode when I get near them. And those are like the propulsion elements and the wreckage components. You need those too for the. But those aren't those are much easier to get. So I'm full up on them. I don't need them now. But I don't see any of the. I guess they moved on. No, here we go. 3 pilots, 4 pilots, 5 pilots. Oh goodness. Here goes the scrolling. Here we go. Thargoid hearts are rare, but they really don't serve a purpose in the game yet. So there's no reason to pick them up. Well, I've got a bunch, so there's no reason to pick up any more. All these things out here, I've picked a bunch up of already. Because you don't know what you need, what you currently need, and what you may need in the future, because they change it. This video is probably already a half hour long. Oh, that's painful. Close attention. For all I know, I could have passed one already. Oh, there's one. Yes, let's do this. So you highlight it and you find it on the radar. It's right over there behind me. Put it on the cargo scoop. You line it up. And you jet at it. I'll slow down at 1 kilometer. You got to be going less than 40 kilometers, or 40 meters a second, or you risk destroying it. Keep it centered in the box there. Boom. 4 Titan drive components. Yes. Okay, so let's log out. Hopefully no one shoots me in the next 15 seconds. Hopefully the sound is better on this video. It won't be. Hopefully there's no game sound at all. and that is Titan Draft Component Farming.